Stupid fucking charger. I'm live. You're live. We're all live. Let's pick our noses together. Okay. That was a little random, but so is my cell phone charger, apparently. There was a wire blocking the fucking dongle from actually being plugged in all the way. So it deceived me into thinking that I was going to be able to maintain the broadcast. However, not so much. Anyways, I'll give a minute for anybody to let me know that they've joined and say hello or whatever. No chat's up yet. It still says 3 people are watching, but somehow I think that's not accurate. I don't remember what the fuck I was in the middle of saying. But oh well. I was thinking earlier, made a joke to my dad. You know, now that I've kind of stopped worrying constantly about, like, saving the world and shit, this whole inventing thing, like being the normal human that I would otherwise want to be, just an inventor, design shit, make it, including like sales strategies, commercials, everything. Yeah. I enjoy that. I enjoy strategizing. It seems really fucking easy, though. By comparison, yeah. Like, wait, if I don't get this shit out that only I seem to understand, the whole world's gonna be fucked. No pressure. No pressure at all. Let me hope the Satanist on YouTube will help me out. The plan did not go quite as swimmingly as one might think. But then just like inventing shit. Oh, so easy. So lovely. It's like, oh, this is what people want. This is how shit is. Things need to be better. Design better. Make better. Better is easy. Nothing fucking hard about designing shit to make it better. Now, understanding all the different flaws in things and understanding all the different possibilities of manufacturing processes in general, that actually takes some fucking talent. But I managed to pick up a lot of that skill along the way. So earlier I was just like, how far can I take this? Can I just like design something right now? What's like the problem? Plastic. Plastic pisses me off. It's fucking everywhere. We use like one of the reasons why I designed the new cell phone, which has gotten so complicated, yet is such a beautiful little piece of engineering that I can no longer show any pictures or disclose any more information about my phone design. God, I'm low on cigarettes. But one of the reasons why I want to have that made is because of the resources that are getting wasted. Like, how many cell phones have you bought in the past 10 years? How much money have you had to fucking pay for them? And how much have you really gotten out of it? Just a drawer full of fucking dead cell phones, basically. You know, you get to send them off or throw them away or whatever. Dingo, cut it out. Drink some coffee. Really? Nobody joining still? Am I streaming on the right thing? Saw Mr. Conway on here. We had an apologetic Lee Harvey Hitler, which is fucking bizarre. But, you know, whatever. I've cracked harder cases. Oh, okay. Is Donald Trump CIA? Donald Trump might be blocking the CIA from investigating the Khashoggi murder that the journalist who was killed. But anyways, back on the same channel. Just nobody here. So, I apologize if it's fucking up somehow on my end. But anyways. So I just want to, like, invent something. And plastic. You think about just how much fucking plastic is just sitting places. If you could mine plastic somehow. Conway, you're still there. Okay, well, it says 0 people, but howdy, and thanks for staying and watching. Fucking out. So anyways, how do you mine plastic? You know? It's fucking everywhere. It's just under the ground, near you right now, probably. If you live in near a city, you don't really have dirt. You have dirt plus plastic. It may look like grass. Somewhere underneath there, there's a Barbie doll head. Fucking old, one of them old bicycle handle grips with the little tassel on the end. You yank the damn tassel off and you threw it down. It's buried underneath somebody's fucking petunias. It's plastic just sitting there. Fucking soda can things, condoms and the wrappers, you know, like. Decomposed hookers with nothing left behind but the. Never mind. No, that's silicone. That's still basically. All right, there's the occasional full bag of potato chips that somehow never lost its seal. Got to be one of those, at least one of those buried in every country. So what do? This is obviously not something that people can go and, I'm going to take a little picker thing and go and, yeah, scissors, but still like one of them little litter grabbers and go and grab the plastic and put it in a bag and grab some more plastic and put that in a bag. That's not a very efficient process, okay? Right, Conway will verify that shit in Ireland, in fucking Ireland, okay? He shouldn't be digging nothing up but fucking pots of gold and leprechaun shit, okay? And he's finding plastic fucking bottles and shit. Just trying to till for a garden. Look at my sketchbook. I want to invent something. And it's going to be a robotic mole rat. Oh, yes. A robotic fucking mole rat. Because if you want to get the plastic out of the ground, you're going to need some shit that can dig for you. You're going to need a robot. You're going to need to automate the process with hundreds, probably thousands and thousands and thousands. Maybe a fucking cool million little robots. Maybe even different sizes. Okay? And they got to dig through the dirt. While being able to detect plastic. Then they have to harvest said plastic. So the body of it would be pretty straightforward. You'd need a cylinder with some legs, like rotating little scoops on an axis. Yeah, like so. Spinning around. So it could crawl its way through the dirt without being a big drilling fucking earth pusher, you know? It'd have to be small. So it's got to have little mole feet. But then you've got kind of a problematic situation that arises. You need, obviously, a tapering section, because you can't just have this thing the size of its mouth. So you're going to have a rotating tapering gear to make this thing wide enough to be able to store enough plastic to make it worth existing, basically. But then you're going to have sort of a little secondary arrangement that can act like both a drill and a mouth. So it would need to be able to extend and unlock and then you would need a probe to actually come out of here and grab the fucking plastic. Alternatively, with, you know, future technology, you would be able to have a sensor that would determine the type of plastic, have an insect-like set of jowls that would basically nibble on the plastic while using a small amount of chemical to turn it into mush, and then it would have a predetermined little sack for each type of plastic, whether it be silicone, polyurethane, ABS, all the different various types of plastic there are. But it would be like let's see, what insect would be most appropriate for studying comparison. An orb weaver spider would do quite nicely. But I'm sure there's some more direct sort of configurations that can be had. Like you would essentially want like a little chewing, like spray chew, spray chew, spray chew. And it would just be like a little hundredth of a milliliter drip from each little jaw squirter. And then that would come back in, the drill would close back up, retract back into its locked position, and then spin with the outer mechanism. You can train some animals to collect plastic, but you can't train the right animals to collect plastic. So, if you could train mole rats, if you could train some fucking mole rats, or moles in general, moles, voles, prairie dogs, anything that fucking is small and digs underground, train it to collect plastic, you'd have to consider them sentient, you know? Like we've entered into a trade agreement with the local prairie dog population. They bring us 5 pounds of plastic every day, and we give them fucking little tiny bows and arrows to shoot the coyotes with. Oh. Yeah. prairie dogs are. There's a type in Africa. I think there at least used to be one in Tibet, and otherwise mostly found in Texas. Like a gopher, kind of. But anyways, so that's my free invention for the week or whatever. You can't have my cell phone design, but I'll give whoever wants whatever help I can give. I'm sure with the concept, there's a whole lot smarter people at MIT and shit to actually turn that into a reality. But the basic concept is this guy is going to be able to probably fill up, talking a mole rat unit, yay big, okay, probably going to be able to fill up his container or containers in a matter of hours, okay? So what you do is like 2 different shifts per day, a dozen of these fucking things get thrown into a junkyard, into a landfill where people have been throwing shit away. And they just go and they fucking, you program them to the lowest depth, you program them to a certain area, okay? And you know that area is clean when they come up empty. And you'll have them just twice a day, one worker takes the fucking case of mole rats, sets them up, fills their little chemicals, and goes. Probably have like a remote computer app with the terrain GPS mapped in, right? Have them preset to their locations and depths. Set them loose. At the end of the first shift, after 3 hours, you go look and see all the ones that found enough plastic to surface. Go take them, refill their little chemicals, go set them back for the next shift. End of the day, you call them out and say, okay, it's time for everybody to come back to the surface, and then you go pick up all your little mole rats on their little designated areas when you've just fucking cleaned up half an acre. But anyways, as bad as people want evolution to be true, let me just say this. Careful what you wish for. Because if evolution becomes truly unbridled and the result of celestial activity, as in the vote occurs within the consciousness collective to allow a certain series of frequencies to enhance the mutations of DNA, such as the Sirius star radiation. If something evolves to eat this, most likely it will be, yes, fungi, bacteria, and it won't just be one thing that does it. There might be one thing already, but because there's one thing, other things might accidentally wind up doing it. And when it comes to the perceived model of natural selection, here you have an interesting scenario. Single-celled organisms generally follow this model because they respond to chemically available food sources. So the bacteria population would grow to the given food source. Now, just picture that. If there's a bacteria that currently eats nitrogenous proteins, okay? Not far off from plastic, chemically. And one day, one of those bacteria gets deformed, or reproduces and has a deformed offspring. And instead of that similar protein to plastic, it was born on some plastic, and it just happened. And then it being a single-celled organism just started reproducing like wildfire. Based on the properties of the previous organism, you might have a situation where groceries start melting off the fucking shelves. Where cars that have plastic parts start just decaying. Clean up your plastic. And stop making me buy so much of it. Fuck. Like, that's what pisses me off, too. I don't have a recycling program in this area. And everything we have to buy is made of fucking plastic. Because, shipping weight. And I take glass and smash it and it's sand again. You know? Oh, it depresses me. It genuinely depresses me. This is going to get thrown away in a plastic trash bag eventually. I don't even use these fucking things. I'm just hanging on to it because I don't want to throw it away yet. But anyways. That's really fucking disappointing that I had 3 people watching. And, battery died, broadcast stopped, came back on, and there's nobody fucking here. But to get back into the why now thing, and if you're interested, the previous broadcast had some flawless logic in it regarding the strategic lessons that you can learn from a lot of different corporate activities, including the possibility that World War fucking 3 point whatever is about to happen in a very real way, based upon American automotive manufacturing patterns. You see, just to explain in full detail what I was, alluding to earlier. Oh my God, I really fucking, these cigarettes suck. Like, that's impossible. How can there be that few of them already? I didn't have my cigarettes. These stupid jade Turkish blend things. And it's like I don't even notice them while I'm smoking them. They're just so not satisfying at all. Yeah. But anyways, so when World War II happened, we had a lot of car factories and shit already. We had a few already. They all became truck factories. Ford just stopped producing cars. You see, the reason why I hypothesized that GM wouldn't just stop producing cars, they would just stop making their big sedans, is because it's the large sedan factories that are more conducive to being converted into military vehicles. So if you're going to take your large sedan factory and just convert it into a truck factory, you already got some possibly, I don't know, I've never taken an inventory of a Ford factory, but it's more likely that you'd have equipment based on heavier specs that would be more likely to be useful in building military equipment, tank parts and shit like that. Not necessarily entire tanks, although there's been a national security imperative since World War II that truck factories are supposed to be able to refit in times of war to produce mechanized infantry vehicles and tanks. So, based on that pattern of history and that mandate of our government that we require of our automotive manufacturers here in this country, or that we used to anyways, us stopping producing cars after, and let me just stress this, after the trend of SUVs capped off and tapered off. It's not like we're on this beaming path towards nobody's buying cars anymore. Fucking Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, people still buy cars. I mean, I live in the country. I still see cars, I'm used to being, I know the types of places where you don't see cars anymore. You still see cars in those fucking places. Because while the men want fucking pickup trucks, and occasionally the women do too, commuters and smart people and girls and teenagers, they still drive fucking cars. Some of them want their SUVs, but some of them still want their cars. The SUV craze, I remember seeing something just a couple years ago, how the sales of SUVs had gone up and up and up, and then had started to kind of taper off, and things had kind of balanced out, SUVs have their advantage, but, if you live in a dry area that's got good roads and you have a long commute, you're not driving an SUV, unless you have other reasons or whatever. But cars make sense in a lot of situations. Cars, not SUVs, not trucks, not minivans. Cars, regular little car, energy efficient, fuel efficient car. Ford's not making any of those anymore. And if you wanted a luxury car, which a lot of people like luxury cars, old people, for instance, like luxury cars. They don't want an SUV because you got to climb up into that shit. They want a car that you can easily get in and out of. Okay? Sure, Brian. But where are we going to get rubber pants this time of night? Lacey asks if I'm pondering what she's pondering. But anyways. So, I've fucking sold cars. I know the market. The whole idea that we're just going to we're not going to make these cars anymore. We're not going to make these big sedans anymore. Ford's just not going to make cars at all. and GM across its entire lineup is canceling all the large sedans. That means to me that the CIA has gotten spooked enough about a fucking possible ground war with Russia and China that they've told our factories here in America, get ready to start producing tanks on an emergency basis. Dingo. I mean, it could just be a coincidence, you know. They could just be, you know, massing troops on Belgium's border because they like the view. Or they could be coming through there to get to France. You know what I'm saying? In retrospect, we look back on this, if fucking if the war broke out, and we'd, you know, a smart historian might notice, oh yeah, GM and Ford changed their production right before this war, so we did see it coming. Right? Anyways. So another example of why now, you know, like timing is everything. This migrant thing. You see, these Latin American migrants, they became this big caravan for one fucking reason only. Fake news. They were bullshitted into coming here. All at once. And not only that, but in typical active measures style, the information that was disseminated was criminally advantageous. It was con artisty. It was news, little information packlets and whispers saying they'll let you in if you bring a kid. Here's how to get there. Here's how to get around customs. Here's instructions. Okay? This was a planned fucking operation. And it wasn't just for Trump. Okay? And, you know, it was in large part for Trump. It was a back scratching of the Republican, the Rushablicans, trying to keep or win seats. But it was also a, a, a perfect chance to divide the country, to cement Trump's support among his fucking moron supporters, and to cause just an internationally embarrassing incident on our border where we fucking shot little kids with tear gas. And you know, like, I got mixed feelings about whether or not those border guards had any other choice, but at least they didn't do what Trump said. They could fucking use lethal force if necessary. But it's just sad how them fucking kids are being used like that, and like some of those mothers are genuinely needy mothers who got told by a group of guys, come with us, we'll help you get there, because those guys saw that information, and those guys heard that information. We can all get in with your kids. Okay, I'll bring my kids so we can all get in. They all got bullshitted. And then once the election happened, they were all camped out in Tijuana. Then the Mueller probe got active again. And they raided the fucking border. And now I think the last update I just saw was the Mexican police have came and arrested a bunch of them people who had tried to rush the border or whatever. And there's, in the Mueller probe, some pretty serious developments. What I was saying on the Easy Reefers channel, was that Mueller's new charges and the dropping of the Manafort plea deal all probably have something to do directly with the Trump-Russia investigation. Yeah. Turns out, what he lied about was a fucking secret meeting he had with Julian Assange. And apparently, it was right before the Podesta emails came out. Yes, I am. Thank you. Anyways. Where's my lungs? Oh, there it is, on the floor. But this other guy, Cassini or whatever, the Manafort friend. Oh, Lath is pretty yummy herself. Oh, I bet you are, baby. I bet you are. Anyways. Enough about my balls. I mean, what? No, that was earlier. So this other guy, forget his fucking name, George Corsi? Corsi? Is it Corsi? He's rejected his plea deal now and needs to drag his shit out because he is claiming he's just psychic now. Because he knew the day before the Podesta emails came out, okay, which you know is the day before the fucking Trump take, the grab by the pussy tape, right? Access Hollywood tape. He's on Twitter saying that John Podesta and the Clinton Foundation are about to get it or whatever. You know, much like Roger Stone saying it was Podesta's termin in the barrel, right? This guy had not only Podesta, but also about the Clinton Foundation. And if you look in the Podesta emails, most of those emails were his correspondence as chairperson of the Clinton Foundation. Say what again? Balls? The Access Hollywood tape where he was on the bus talking about he could grab women by the pussy. That tape. The day before. Okay, so the Access Hollywood came out, and WikiLeaks basically responded as if they were part of the Trump campaign by releasing the Podesta emails. I'm down to 4 cigarettes. Still got that change sitting on the table. We had the state lost money services thing, like when you go and claim your missing money or whatever with the state that you're in. Wonderful timing. They sent my check today, $23 whole. So hopefully that'll clear. I can go get us some bread and juice and God willing, a real pack of cigarettes? Oh yeah, what did you have at $23? You got an interesting $23 story? But yeah, to whoever isn't broke, as I was saying on the Easy Reefers channel, we're at that end of the month crunch where we're like badly timed between paychecks and bill paying. And let's see, today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday. We need like a Thursday's worth of money still. Tomorrow's not going to be too bad, but I need to get some groceries Thursday. Like I need to get something to drink in this house. So I'm going to go buy some juice and some, we're almost out of bread, so I need to buy bread. Always keep bread when you have kids. You have to always keep bread when you have kids. Because there's too many different types of sandwiches. You know? There's just too many types of sandwiches for it not to be proper strategy. Get kids, give them some fucking bread. Say, I'm hungry. Make a sandwich. Problem, solution. We don't have any sandwich meat. Make a cheese sandwich. We don't have any cheese. Make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We don't have any jelly. Make a peanut butter and honey sandwich. We don't have any honey. Make a peanut butter sandwich. A syrup sandwich. There you go. That sounds like oddly delicious. Me, I like them big fucking boxes of generic buttermilk waffles. So I wouldn't waste bread on maple syrup. I got proper maple syrup consumption discs, also known as waffles. They're a medium from which one can consume maple syrup. You know, it's kind of the entire point of waffles is just to have syrup and butter. But you know, how else are you going to get the butter and the syrup to stick together without the waffle? It only makes sense. Anyways, now I'm starting to get hungry. Oh, 4 cigarettes left. Okay, wait. I need one for the first kid, one for the second kid, one to wake up, and one for my wife. And then I won't have one for the drive to the store to get more cigarettes. which means I should probably just take the damn truck and go in the middle of the night tonight. Shh, Lacey, close your mouth. Or hold it open for just a minute. I mean, no. Anyways. So, back to the Clinton Foundation. Now that I've made Lacey turn red as a beet. Oh, damn it, I tried to reach for a cigarette again. Let me go raid the ashtray in the back. I think I got some shorts back there. As in short cigarette, not like shorts. Yeah. Well, obviously I have shorts back there. It's my bedroom. And I do own at least one pair of shorts. Okay. 3 points for Gryffindor, 1 point for Hufflepuff. Yeah. That's my scientific analysis of the situation. Oh, 1 more point for Hufflepuff. Most people don't think of cigarettes as pain relief, but my pain largely comes from nerves causing muscle spasms throughout my spinal region and rib cage. So I'll have like just this awkward tenseness that kind of builds up and builds up and builds up, and it's nervous. It's like a twitchiness. Drag of a cigarette, and it's like the wave of relaxation actually helps the pain subside. Anyway. That, and I find that I have interesting symptoms from what is diagnosed to be irregular blood pressure that runs in my family. And I think something about cigarettes must be hereditarily enjoyable. Like my mother smoked, my grandmother smoked. And I think it's due to the way it equalizes blood pressure. Like marijuana will lower blood pressure, methamphetamines would severely raise blood pressure. But nicotine, although it does damage your blood vessels, it kind of evens them out, it seems. It seems. I haven't taken a microscope to my blood vessels. That's just the way it feels. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, nicotine does seem to release nervous energy. And I would think that the neurochemical effects of marijuana combined with nicotine would actually enhance that effect. Basically, you'd have enhanced semiconductive shielding that that THC forms around the melee of an individual neuron, and what forms like this sort of glowing, almost luminescent, like not glowing, but almost luminescent blue glow, whitish substance. That basically allows nerves to be more interconnectable and more frequency externally brainwave activated, like more antenna-like, if you will. And nicotine could be acting as sort of a chemical catalyst that allows that to release, which also would explain why nicotine is used in shamanistic type religious ceremonies at the after often other like hallucinogenics and stuff like peyote and things like that. Anyways, how y'all doing? Let's see what else is on the notes. So, my face. My dog just farted. That's what's up. Yeah, my face is usually sad and concerned. That's kind of how I usually feel. So the other day I was talking on the other channel about how we need to kind of organize our commutes better and find different ways to reduce traffic by other means than building bigger fucking highways, right? And one of those was to have the government algorithmically coordinate if somebody lives on one side of town and commutes to the other side of town, and one person lives here and works there, and they're going back and forth every day, and they both happen to have the same size house, it would be equitable for society to give them some sort of tax incentive, possibly a tax credit, possibly a grant, at the very least a loan, a special loan, to help them switch houses so that this person can work 5 minutes away from where they live, and so can they. And then everybody else doesn't have to see them on the fucking road every day. Okay? But something I'd like to do, should I be given some, appropriate level of influence, considering who I am and what I can do for this world, Um, a general synopsis on a major part of that plan would be the recognition of the advantages of current technology as it pertains to the revitalization of the cottage industry. Okay? Now, a lot of independent people have already picked up on this in their own way, and there's been a lot of little businesses that have started thanks to, um, at first just the availability of freaking at-home supercomputers, basically. But now, things like 3D printing, right? Well, there needs to be um, getting ahead of myself thinking internationally, but just in America, there needs to be a coordinated effort towards self-sustainability for individuals who don't have brilliant ideas, and a support structure for people who do. Okay, so like, you know, I'm fucking a genius inventor, right? Okay, maybe. There's no support structure. I can't just be like, I just fucking invented the greatest cell phone. It is the last cell phone you will ever need. And it's not only that, but it's kind of the last piece of technology you will ever need. It can do fucking anything, basically. You get to decide what it can do. It can do everything. And everybody, every different company that's currently making cell phones is gonna be able to make their own little things for this. Hey, Misha. That's rare. Hey, honey. Thank you, sweetheart. Misha just crawled up on my lap. She doesn't do this often anymore. Or like ever. Do y'all remember when she was just a little tiny thing that I brought in from outside with her head all messed up? Huh, Misha, you remember when your little head was all messed up? Oh, sweet baby. You're getting so chubby, you know that? What is it? Lainey's sleeping. There's nothing going on over there. Okay. Misha, what were we talking about before you came over here being all precious? I don't even remember. Note's gonna help me. Naked baby mole rat robots. Wait, what? I couldn't resist the chance to name a video of that. Oh yeah. Speaking of being an inventor, yeah, I didn't even read the notes. Didn't form language skills with my eyes yet. Just kind of waving it around like a prop at that point. But speaking of naked baby mole rats, inventing, yeah. So like there should be a support structure for people who want to invent. And well, it certainly would be logical for it to involve groups of people who were just laid off by the thousands, you know? Like, okay, take those 15,000 people that blah, 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 just got laid off by GM. But that's all, folks. If they all put up $50, that would be $750,000 towards developing a product and patenting it. Okay? Those 15,000 people could come up with 750 grand to develop and patent a product and formalize a business plan and then get a loan to restructure their factory and produce said product. There should be government assistance for that kind of shit. Okay? There should be government organization, government mandates for that kind of shit, right? But also, if I don't have a brilliant idea, if I'm not somebody who just got laid off from working 30 years at a factory and I got all these skills and shit, right? If I'm just JQ motherfucker who just quit drinking and decided to get his life back together and realize, hey, I can't really do anything very well, right? That guy should be able to have some kind of support system, some kind of option for his life to get him the fuck out of everybody's way, right? I mean, you don't have to be sympathetic. We're not taking care of somebody. We're stopping them from being our problems. You can be as generous as you want about it, or you can be as selfish as you want about it. What you can't do is argue that it's not a fucking good idea, and it needs to be done. So teach them how to grow fish. Teach them how to grow crops while purifying water. Teach them how to just take a little piece of land and be a benefit through their ownership of it. You know? Maybe set up a shelter for stray kittens, because there's lots of those. Oh, what you eat? When's your ear scratched? Okay. Oh, that's the spot. Oh, that's the spot. Face is just buried. So, tell you what, as bad as it sounds, what we don't need is a bunch of motherfuckers going out and buying land to grow marijuana. That kind of hurts me to say, but it's true. We don't need a bunch of people to go out and buy marijuana. We have prisons. Most of those prisons have massive fields around them. We spend a lot of money maintaining those fields and those prisons. We spend a lot of money trying to keep narcotics out of those prisons. We spend a lot of money repairing the damage that heavy narcotics do in those prisons and the gangs that run those drugs. But if the prisons grew the marijuana, you'd have much better usage of land. That land would no longer be costing money, but making money. Enough money that we wouldn't be paying as much for the prison to begin with. And smoking pot isn't going to make being a prisoner a less reformational experience. Okay? It will make it less punishing. Okay, but is the objective to be cruel to them and to get your revenge? Or are we trying to actually fucking reform some people? You take a fucking can of beer and put it in a room with 10 guys. What's going to happen? Chances are a fight's going to break out over that can of beer. Take them same fucking 10 guys, put a joint in there. What's going to happen? Ear. That's it, man. You see, if you're stoned and in prison, it's still punishment. Okay? You still get bored. You still get restless. You know, you still want freedom. But if these people are smoking pots, they're not going to be injuring each other over meth running rings and shit like that. They're all growing their own pot. No, but there's no gang controlling it. Okay? But because they're smoking pot, they're not being consumed with anger all the time. They're, again, not on fucking meth or cocaine or crack or whatever else they were fucking doing anymore. And they are sitting there reflecting about life. Because they ain't got shit else to do, and they are high as shit. All done working, fucking harvesting, and you know, good fucking outside farm work is good for anybody who's capable. But they'd be getting along with their cellmates, talking about the lessons they should have learned in life, talking about the mistakes they made and the trials and tribulations. And then the other guy passes it back to him and says, "It's gonna be all right, man. You can do better." And then he starts talking about his trials and tribulations. Like, we need prisons to grow marijuana as bad as we need people to stop being sent to prison for marijuana. you know? Trouser tribulations. All right, pervert. Little miss, I'm cute and I know it. You think you are Misha? Misha's cute and she knows it. Huh, Misha? Oh, the kitty, kitty. Oh, I'm sure. We need marijuana being grown in our prisons and smoked by our prison population. As bad as a black guy needs a white friend with him to drive around at night. Okay? And all those people who thought, I just wanted to get some land to grow some weed so I could sell it to my friends. You can now help pay your local state's budget by buying marijuana from your local prison. Legally. And instead of going and starting that business on that land where you just basically, yeah, kind of counting on a selfish endeavor, basically. You think you're going to have an easy job that's, shit's just going to grow and you'll be able to sell it, make a bunch of money and get high. What you ought to do, maybe grow some weed for yourself if you get your land. That's no fucking big deal. Nothing wrong with that. But what you ought to do, go to your local grocery stores. Go to your produce stand. Find out what is in demand that they don't have growing as often as they'd like to have it selling. And grow some. Yeah, just fucking till a little bit of land, try your hand at it. Grow some crops. You're a human being. It's not hard. It's like the basics of what, these hands were given to you for. Contribute. Don't just sit there and eat and take and take and take. Actually fucking contribute. You know what I mean? Just like flipping a burger and putting it together and hand it to somebody. Grow the lettuce. Grow the tomatoes. Make yourself a burger. It'll be the best tasting burger you ever had. Burgers. Fuck. Okay. Not hungry. Say you don't want to be a farmer. You probably, if you don't want to be a farmer, you probably care about the environment. Well, I think the government should have a bunch of patents available. A bunch of designs, schematics, investment plans, business plans available that don't need to be proprietary, that should be done independently, okay? And aquaponics in general, fish farming, with the aim of cleaning the water that you use instead of dirtying it up. That should be what your ambitious person who thinks they can go grow weed should be doing instead. They should go buy up land north, upriver, upstream of their town. Divert a little bit of that stream onto that land. Grow fish in it. Grow crops around it. And grow or clean physically enough of that water to where it's cleaner going out than it was going in. And responsible, intuitive, multi-trophic setups. And that is not just multi-trophic microecologically, but macroecologically, to where it's not just the water and the plants and the microorganism and insects and crustaceans feeding the fish and processing their waste and, you know, having the circle of life properly established in there. And it takes more setup than just, you know, what the nearby swamp is doing, okay? To get that going in a beneficial way, you have to have a better, more intuitive setup. But then to have it structured on the land itself in a terraced format to where that water, when it's diverted for crops, is controlled after it's gone through those crops. So it's not enough just to divert water to your crops. You have to know that that water is going to, when it rains, when it flows underground, downhill, where is it going? Is it going back into that river? Or is it going into your aquaponics system where it can be cleaned more before being put back into that river? Savvy? So we basically need to have, in wet areas, people set up systems to clean the water in very, very smart ways. But in dry areas, we need to have people to claim land and manage it in such a way that retains water. A lot of the deserts that we have, a lot of the, like the Dust Bowl and shit like that, that all comes from diverting creeks and rivers even for irrigation purposes. And then where that river used to flow dries the fuck out. You know, obviously you saw the biggest example of that in the 80s in Kazakhstan, where the Soviets diverted an entire fucking river that was feeding a sea, you know? They diverted the river to irrigate some crops, and instead of going to this sea, and then I think to the Caspian Sea, this shit now just emptied out directly into the Black Sea. And guess what? This whole sea in the middle of there in the Caspian Sea, and all of the fishermen, all the everything that depended on it, gone. There's like a few dozen camels that graze there now. It's fucking just shit barren land now. Russia? I'd be happy to redesign that entire area for you. That's a fucking tragedy. And I guarantee you, I will make it to where you can still have those crops. All I need is full data. And a few different colors of markers. And of course my sketch pad. Yeah. well, the place with the cigarettes is currently closed. What is my plan here? What is my plan? Okay, I have 3 full cigarettes. I have 1 that I just lit up and put out. I could wait until about 5:30 in the morning, at which point the place with the cigarettes will have reopened. And that means I can smoke 3 of these and just save 1 for the drive there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing. But anyways, let's see. And I have lost the Misha. Sorry, Misha. I love you. You're my sweet baby, huh? Like, I'm busy, I'm grooming. So, what are the benefits besides getting people the fuck out of the cities and helping with traffic and helping with pollution? Well, macroeconomically, this is going to generate tremendous savings, including where health is concerned. We spend a lot of money on health care. I mean, that's obviously, you don't need me or Obama to tell you that. But if you, first of all, improve the environment, obviously health is going to benefit. But if you're getting people out of the cities and not breathing that condensed carcinogenic air, right, you're increasing their health drastically. And then, by reducing traffic, you're reducing accidents. You're reducing, possibly, car insurance rates. You're reducing, possibly, health insurance rates. Because, just like you have to cover uninsured motorists in the cities, you're covering more uninsured victims of this and that and the other. You have to legalize marijuana, though. Speaking of victims of shit in the cities, you will reduce crime in the cities by up to 85%. And I'm not just talking about marijuana arrests. Violent crimes, robberies, thefts, and drug-related violent other offenses will plummet. And if you get people out of the cities while reducing crimes in the cities, we might be able to spend money on, what's that shit? Bridges and schools. Yeah. Oh yeah, the shit that governments are supposed to pay for. Yeah. Instead of corporate welfare. Oh yeah, those bridges and roads and stuff we need to, like, have an economy to begin with. Schools, yeah, we need those to have an economy to begin with. I mean, you know why China is taking over right now? It's because they've been building fucking highways. They've been building highways. They've been consolidating their industrial infrastructure. they're becoming a very much more productive country, better able to sustain their large population. Meanwhile, back in America, we got the growing population and dwindling fucking infrastructure. We got all these highways that made America what it was. Made America, first of all, our interstate system, our grid interstate system, makes America very intimidating as far as an invasion target, because a counterattack can come easily and quickly from many areas. But, you know, we don't give a shit about our fucking roads or bridges or anything like that anymore. It's crazy. But we need a plan. Like, there's some cities now that used to have, like, functions, like the reason they were built as cities to begin with, right? And those functions aren't even there anymore. And that city never found a new function, you know? What the hell is fucking... Something bit me on the leg. It's itching like hell. Ahaha! Wait, hold up. Hold up. Where's that shit? I found this in my drawer. It's called Afterbite. I don't know if that's backwards or not. I was confused. I'm like, Afterbite. Like, I know what an overbite is. I know what an underbite is. What's an afterbite? My wife said it's for bug bites. Oh, cool. Let me see if I can access that part of my fucking eye here. Holy shit. Whatever it was not friendly. Holy crap. Let's see if this crap works. Oh. It kind of tingles. Calm down, Lacey. Calm down. I feel violated. I don't know. It's fucking not itching anymore. This shit works. Like, seriously? Like, barely itching at all. Holy crap. Sodium bicarbonate. Fucking baking soda. Really? It's baking soda? That's it? Yeah, it's baking soda. Don't smell these. Whew. That's a little strong with the whole odor thing. Damn. But it works. My God. Whew. If you ever smell like anything that you don't want to smell like, just grab some of that shit. It'll make you smell like something else. Ooh. Damn. Like that. my eyes were dry. Now they're feeling nice and crisp. Anyway. What is that sound? One of my fish tanks is making too much noise. I have to figure out which one it is. Okay, it's the 10-gallon. No big deal. I just really need to add some top-off water to it. Okay. That's fine. It's about 2 inches low on the water level. But that's fine. All right. So, if I never told you about why I love Truperculous so much, there's one of the reasons right there. Get you a saltwater tank, 10 gallons. Put you a little $30 filter on the back. If you live in a nice area, if you don't let your house get too cold, you don't really need a heater. And, top it off once a week or every 2 weeks or so. Just let the salinity skyrocket. And the Truperculous will just be... Most fish would be, I can't breathe. I can't. Can you add some fresh water tank? It's really, really salty in here. Truperculous is like, the fuck is that guy's problem? They are some wonderfully non-complaint fish. No fucks given. Anyways. So, what y'all want to talk about? Mr. Todd, try the priest? What? What are you talking about? Meat pies? Lacey, I told you to stay off the crack. Why the hell is my chin itching? Really? What a time for a random chin itch. No, I don't want to talk about crack. What are you on, crack? Wait, no. I already went there. Time for the 2 points for Hufflepuff. Or Gryffindor, whoever. Oh, let's see, what's over here in my wife's history? Nothing. Whole lot of nada. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Yeah, like, where's the fucking camera? So, yeah, I guess I'm not going to be going to sleep tonight. Because that'll make waking up extra brutal. And I could wake up and then go to the store right after I put the first one on the bus. Certainly have enough time. Okay, recalculating. 1, 2, 3. 1 for waiting on the bus. 1 for the drive to the cigarettes. So I can smoke one more cigarette now. Hey, right? Hey. Why is my chin itching so bad? Why? I think the air's getting dry. It's been humid as fuck lately. That shit on my thigh is not dry skin. That's, God, it's a fucking Kragan bug took a chunk out of me or something. I don't know. Hey, what? I don't want to hear about you moaning and groaning on your knees. I mean, I do and I don't. But I mean, I want my chin to stop itching. Yeah, you're welcome. If I wasn't, there wouldn't be such a diverse population on this planet. Anyways, Turkish jade. Turkish jade. Oh, it's fancy. It's got it written right there to make you feel better for how shitty these cigarettes are. Like, seriously, man. Camel, this is a waste of a cigarette. Just stop making these fucking things. What, stop scratching? Yeah, I need to stop scratching. I'm going to wind up bleeding from my fucking neck right there. If I'm not already. Ah! Okay. I just scratched the living shit out of it off camera to be polite. I see. It's probably an ingrown hair. Get those starting to itch violently when the weather dries out. That means I have to shave all the way up to there and then take care of that before letting it grow back out again. Oh well. Don't do. I'm like, wait, do or don't? Oh, don't do it. I did it? What are you talking about, woman? It's not itching anymore. I'm just curious. Like, what's going on in there, deep in the darkest corners of the beard? Okay, yeah, I'm bleeding. Anyway, so how are you? Don't do everything, really? I mean, I guess, but you have to be highly technical. Roar yourself. Or wait, are you asking me to roar? Or are you just going roar? Oh shit, I just roared. Although that's not really like a roar. It's like a big L's big animal sanctuary roar. Lacey, are you developing Tourette's? Anyways, so let me know if the broadcast gets choppy. I'm going to attempt to load my scroll so I can find some way to wrap up this fucking broadcast without giving away any more business ideas. Because like, I'm tempted to go through some more stuff and things, but I don't want to give away my fucking my big all-encompassing plan here, because it involves a whole new social media platform and a device both to take advantage of it and to kind of revolutionize the way we do things in general, you know? Like, I'm not just hoping people start making cell phones more responsibly and hoping that, you know, other people come out with competing models of never-ending cell phones, right? I'm hoping that transfers into other industries, you know? Like the car industry tries to do it to a certain extent, but we really need to get back to that concept of building a truly durable vehicle that's efficient and allowing people to remodel it and revamp it and not feel like things are made to be destroyed after 5 years, you know? Lacey, but if you really stop apologizing. Just fucking text me, okay? Like, go to bed. Text me later, something. This woman here. Good night. Anyways. Oh yeah. Scroll. How far are we in? Hour and a half-ish. Not too bad. Now I have that probing curiosity itch. It's like, oh, that one place itched, and you got to scratch that really good. Now just these little places around it are going to itch just a little bit. Just, you know, to give you something to do. So no more cars from Ford. No more sedans from GM. Apparently, the Mississippi election's coming down to an exact tie. John Bolton went on a little rant defending not listening to the Khashoggi tape. Oh, Jon Stewart's on the Colbert show. Stewie. I'd like to see that. Brush fire in Australia, eh? Jeez. Manafort lawyer, according to the New York Times, Manafort lawyer briefed the Trump White House team on his meetings with Robert Mueller. Damn. You're going to have some genuinely pissed off investigators now. I think that's something. All right, let's see here. Apparently, fuel costs are rising in Europe. Hillary Clinton has launched a paid speaking tour for a political campaign, a political action group, starting with a joke, and her speech has started with a joke about Trump 2020. That ought to be funny. We only have one forward deployed aircraft carrier right now. That means the refits are serious. Roland Martin apparently says the former Facebook exec has stated that Facebook had a problem with black people. Yeah, I see that. I can definitely see that. Kinda. transgender person was beaten to death in immigration custody. Wow. Well, it says beaten in custody before death. That to me just fucking beaten to death. Obama is at Rice University. Man, Barry, I wish you'd come pay me a visit. Oh. Here's what we'll end on. This is some truly special shit. CBS Miami, okay, I have observed to be a very pro-Trump station, almost to the point of apologetics. But they have titled this upload, President Trump sends out strange tweet about Broward elections supervisor. And the anchor is like, huh, okay. Talking about, this is kind of just a weird tweet, Mr. President. So I'm going to read it. Brenda Snipes, comma, in charge of voting in Broward County, comma, Florida, comma, was just spotted wearing a beautiful dress with 300 I voting signs on it. Just kidding. Right, I voting sign, period. Just kidding, comma. She is a fine, just kidding, comma. She is a fine, this is a new sentence, it's supposed to be a period and a capital she. She is a fine, comma, very honorable and highly respected voting tactician. Tactician? What? And on that bombshell, it's time to end. So, thanks to all of our very highly respected voting tacticians for joining us for the broadcast, and hope you enjoyed the little two-part Lost Begotten episode here. And just another little reminder, we are at the end of the month crunch. So, if you are not as broke as we are, spread the love. Assuming that you know how. If you don't know how, you probably haven't been watching long enough for me to ask you, so whatever. Anyways, we just need a little help to get through a couple days here, and then we should be okay until probably the end of next month. But it would be nice if we could get some, what are those things called? Christmas presents? Yeah. For the kids. That'd be cool. God forbid, you know? We haven't even decorated this year. We're just too busy being broke and fucking panicking. Trying to not deprive the kids of the extracurricular activities. Trina's in band and beta club, and Layla's in karate and kind of like horseback riding lessons. And we're still taking them several times a week. It's like, all we can do is just everything we can. Can't do any more than that. And just pray that something works and that she can get better so I can get my ass in gear and make things a lot better. But until then, I do appreciate y'all joining me and hanging out and chatting and clicking the like button, because it doesn't mean anything, but it makes me feel better. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Take it easy, but don't take it all. Peace.